Starting against Weavile. Weavile won't be able to 1-hit KO it, but still able to do quite the damage. But is Weavile really wanting to risk the damage from Rotom is another story. He could have predicted a Lendo potentially as a lead. But he's definitely going to want to keep Weavile for a bit longer before... at least not sacrificing it so early in the game. Incarnate is banned. Therian is allowed. So we see it as Incarnate, but it's going to be Therian. I think there is still like a visual kind of bug, but it's no biggie. Okay. So basically, DieSeeKuh's team has a Garchomp. Garchomp still very good, definitely. Like very often we kind of think that if there's a new gen, all the new mons are so strong, they kind of outclass the old ones, but Garchomp's definitely something you're gonna still see for a long while because it's a very potent mon. So we have Weavile, we have Clefable. Clefable still a threat. It's one of the best mons still, even after Unova. It's very versatile. It can act as a stall breaker or a wall. Gliscor is still a very potent both wall and stall breaker. It's one of the few mons that is actually able to switch into Conk and you know, do something about it, which is really crazy. Because a lot of people have trouble with Conk. A lot of people love Conk, really want to use it as much as possible. But Gliscor is definitely a good answer for it. And Amoonguss, which is it's a weird mon because it doesn't look so crazy at first, but having Spore, having a really great typing and the ability to be both a physical or a special wall is very nice. So when you see it, you don't necessarily know like is it gonna be like a physical or a special wall, and it's just pretty dangerous. Also, we see a Terrakion on Xenospart, which is going to be pretty cool as well. So far, they are basically over-predicting a little bit. We're going to see if... Oh, so DieSeeKuh's Garchomp is doing the job. So basically, the Garchomp is a little bit special. Because you would expect it to be... like often we see it very offensive, but it's a more utility kind of defensive jump. So we can expect Stealth Rock, we can expect Toxic's a bit less usual, but I guess that Rotom expected Garchomp to switch out, so he went for Volt Switch. But I mean, Garchomp really put Rotom on a timer because Rotom doesn't really have like a reliable recovery beside Pain Split, which is not reliable at all. And Garchomp is like a bulky. It's not like an absolute wall because it doesn't have like reliable recovery neither, but it's a bulky kind of pivot. He decided to keep it, which is fair. The switch into Hydro Pump was wild, but I guess he expected him to switch out of Rotom. So basically, guys, right now it feels like they are messing around in a weird way. But you need to understand that both players are basically trying to predict what the other one's going to think about. And so they're basically trying to see, like, what do I need to keep? I mean, we can do the little exercise. So basically, they both have ways to beat the opponent, but they're going to want to keep some mons to ensure that they can actually beat them. And so they kind of need to be careful about what gets damaged, what is... it's like the Toxic on Rotom was pretty rough. It opens the door for his opponent, definitely. So like we're gonna see what's up. Landorus not gonna touch Gliscor much, unless it has something spicy like HP Ice. If it has Swords Dance on itself, it's gonna be good. So DSK's Gliscor is actually on fire right now. So basically, SD Gliscor extremely good. It is kinda. I mean, it's not the fastest, but it's definitely very fast still. It's tanky enough to be able to SD pretty easily, and it's gonna be able to slap some stall teams. Now, Gliscor kind of SD'd for nothing because Weavile managed to come in. And now it could be troublesome for Gliscor. I guess he could have tried to in on switch, but now he's going to be definitely forced out. Weavile is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Rotom's going to come in, try to take some damage. Icicle Crash. I mean, it's resisted, but it still do a fair amount of damage. We see no damage on Weavile's side, so it's definitely not Life Orb. It's definitely Bended. I know that Trey really likes his Bended Weavile. I mean, it does ridiculous damage, though. But yeah, guys, basically the Landorus Incarnate is a ridiculous wall breaker. But Therian is fine. It's like a bulky pivot with a lot of utility. But yeah, like Therian form extremely good. Incarnate is just too busted because it does just like too much damage, and it's able to mix wall break as well. So we have Gliscor coming back into Amoonguss. Gliscor being quite tanky on the special side, so there might be some investment there. Amoonguss usually carrying HP Fire, which is not a problem for Gliscor. And since Gliscor is poisoned, Amoonguss cannot. It cannot use Spore neither. So yeah, Diamond. It's true that Incarnate is trash without HA, but it would put like people managing to get HA on it to a ridiculous advantage. HA Sheer Force, yeah. Sheer Force on a Pokemon with such stats is just ridiculous. So Weavile is coming in. Amoonguss is not gonna want to stay in as well. And the thing is, if Weavile keeps coming in, Rotom's not gonna be able to switch into it forever. And if he goes for knockoff, that would be pretty devastating. Amoonguss could try to stay in, but it's not going to do that much to it neither. So we're going to see what's up. But yeah, like, okay, so it's back to Rotom. It's to be expected, but oh, so he goes for Crash again. Okay, that's fair. So basically, it's risk-free to go into Icicle Crash because Rotom's still taking damage that he doesn't want to get. Back to Amoonguss, he doesn't mind much. Pain Split going in. Okay, that was good. That was good. So Amoonguss is taking a bit of damage. Rotom's not going to be able to beat it, obviously. But Rotom's back to full, which is really, really great. It's going to be able to switch into Rotom again. We're going to... I mean, maybe we're going to see Weavile starting to use Knockoff a little bit more. But the thing is, like, if it goes for Knockoff, Amoonguss could get some damage on Weavile. But for now, they are really kind of trapped in a loop where they're trying to get some chip damage on their opponent, but they can't really do it. Like, someone needs to put rocks down ASAP. So, Sivir, what is the dead moderator is gonna do on our tournament right now? Ooh, okay, so DieSeeKuh's... Huh. Oh, well, the Mexican standoff of Amoonguss will not be able to last forever. They're gonna need to, at some point, switch out. So Amoonguss is out, Terrakion is in. Sludge Bomb is resisted. We're gonna see if it's poisoned. No, it is not poisoned, which is nice. Terrakion is a very good wall breaker. We're gonna see if it's gonna be able to do a little something in the game, because we basically need to see like a wall breaker coming in, putting a dent into the defense of their opponent, and then they're gonna be able to do something. For now, they basically just still like testing the water. But so Spore doing nothing, which is fair. Amogus is healed back again. It's kind of rough to know like what they're gonna do at this point. Terrakion still took a little bit of damage, which can be a thing later on. Okay, so Gliscor coming in. Hidden Power coming out of the Amogus as well from DSKs. From Xeno, but HP Fire is not going to do anything to Gliscor. Gliscor is immune to Spore. Confused Battle State, I guess, yeah. I mean, it's just that they're both trying to get an opening, but they are not letting anything go. So, okay, so Swords Dance coming out. It's only at +1 now because Xeno's Landorus actually intimidated it. But Gliscor is still dangerous. Okay, so we switched out. Xeno went for Stealth Rock. We're gonna see. So he basically let his opponent go for Stealth Rock, but we're gonna see what he's gonna do with it. He's gonna try to go for some SD. He's gonna do okay. So he puts rocks on his own, and we have Xeno's Landorus going for the HP Ice, which may be pretty savage. Because having Garchomp out of the game will be extremely important, because it's still like a good asset. Because Garchomp could have switched into Terrakion and be a little nuisance, but it's not going to be the case anymore. Also, guys, it's definitely not a stall team. So, basically, let's break out the teams just for a sec. So DieSeeKuh has a bulky offensive kind of Garchomp. Rotom, which is usually considered a bulky offensive Pokemon as well, because it has good damage output while being quite tanky. Weavile, definitely not a Stallmon. Clefable, and this team, I would say it's very likely a Stall Breaker, so not Unaware, but a Magic Guard. Gliscor is a Stall Breaker, so definitely not a Stall. And then Mungus is a good wall-ish, but can do some damage as well. So DSK right now doesn't have a Stall team. It is a bulky offensive team, which is an offensive team with some good backbones, basically. They really are just looking at each other. Gliscor obviously gonna want to defog at some point. Weavile coming in, probably on defog. Oh, he art oh wow. Okay, so he art switched into the rocks, which is fine. Okay, so you turned out. Weavile coming in, took some rock damage. Gonna try to do some good damage in there. So Unlucky Cherry, it is everything but stall. Okay, so DieSeeKuh basically sacrifices Garchomp to avoid a hit from Weavile, which is fine, but Weavile is really putting the work right now. So maybe we trash talked a bit too much on Xeno, because Xeno is coming in hard with the Weavile. So we know it's bended, and Clefable just came in. Icicle Crash is gonna do damage, but like basically it's a little luck game. Basically, right now if they would stay in, it would be like a gamble. But Amogus is decently. Oh, okay. So we went for Flamethrower. Amogus is not gonna like much of it. Actually, no one kind of wants to switch into. Okay, so there's Terrakion who could switch into Flamethrower without being too annoyed. But Clefable is forced into going into Flamethrower again, simply because if Amogus lives, he's going to be able to Spore. And there we go. It's Rotom. Rotom is fine. Flamethrower coming out. The badly poisoned doesn't help. We're gonna see if Moonblast will take this out. depending on the Rotom set, I'm wondering if it should be able to outspeed Clef, but I know that DieSeeKuh is often using some weird thing, so we'll see. So Diamond Apple, like Rotom is a good bulky pivot, but it's definitely not a wall. We have Amoonguss Amoonguss is she doesn't have like reliable recovery, so I kind of put it into bulky offense, but it's really in between BO and a wall. But yeah, it's just that both players have like bulkier Pokemons, so they don't really. Okay, so Clefable is doing massive damage. But yeah, guys, it's like there's a big difference in between a stall team with like Skarmory, Chansey, and stuff like that, and pivots that can take damage, but not necessarily like. Because like stall, they're gonna take damage, but they're not gonna be able to dish out any. So, guys, you're used to Clefable doing like pebble damage, but also being able to wall quite a lot. But in this case, DieSeeKuh's usually enjoying using modest Clefable, which does a lot of damage. So we have Rotom on Trace side that is down, which is definitely a thing. Not a lot of stuff will want to jump into Clefable really. Gag on my swag. Poison Jab on Weavile is very niche, I'd say, to do like at least. So basically, Poison Jab, like for Clef, is really not needed. Usually, you're gonna want a Icicle Crush regardless, because you can basically flinch it. Ooh. Let's see. So I have my lovely roommate bringing me coffee. Merci bien. Alright, let's see. So, for the people who actually didn't fight anyone after 10 minutes, you're basically winning by default. So if no one's fighting you, if the people is not... What? Is this Scarf Terrakion? Did I miss something? Hold up. Oh. Hold up. So, yeah, the crashed miss was pretty sad. But yeah, as I was saying, guys, like Clefable can be played in many ways, and you can also play it like DieSeeKuh loves to use Modest, which is really savage, because it often kind of take people by surprise, but it actually does a lot of damage. Moonblast is coming out, which is pretty. I mean, it's usually good, but Amoonguss pretty tanky as well, and it's resisting it. Clefable is gonna be scared of Spore. Xeno is going for Spore, which is the safe move to do, because you didn't really want to eat a Flamethrower there. But then we're back to the Amoonguss Mexican standoff. They don't have like reliable recovery, which means that they're just gonna attack each other again and again, and eventually they'll be forced out. Xeno's Amoonguss is taking way too much damage there, so it's gonna be forced out pretty fast. And no one's really gonna want to take damage, especially since Sludge Bomb is potentially inflicting a poison there as well. So we're gonna see what's up. Sweet cafe. All right, all right. So Steel Truck is coming out. It's gonna be very important. I mean, at this point of the game where both players are starting to lose mons, having Rocks up is going to be very good. Landorus. I'd like to see Landorus going to be able to do some damage to Amoongus, but it's going to be scared of Spore. Oh, but it crit. Wow. Wow. And it feels like it doesn't have Spore, because it would have tried to use it. Unless it was predicting. It is a weird one right now. Ooh, if you... Did he go for Spore? No, he didn't. Went for... Oh, so he's kinda ish trying to sack his Amoongus, it feels like. But now that Volcarona is out, it's gonna be extremely troublesome. So guys, out of all the mons we got from Unova, Volcarona is definitely the most dangerous. Because basically he's gonna be able to... Oh, okay, so he kept his Amoongus, went for Gliscor. That is fair. Flamethrower is absorbed quite easily. But yeah, guys, so Volcarona is one of the most potent sweeper. I mean, it is the most potent sweeper we have in PokeOne yet. It's doing extremely well. It's extremely dangerous. And it can often just, after one Quiver Dance, just wreck team. Like, wreck a whole team. So you're going to need to be looking out for that. You really, really need to make sure that you have some counters for it. Because if you have nothing to counter Volcarona, it's usually going to be like one River Dance and it's done. But yeah, it feels like DSK may have lost this one, but we're going to see. It's not totally over. So Hidden Power coming out. Gliscor still decently tanky on the special side. So it's going to be able to take out Landorus, which is a good start. That being said, we may see him try to... It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Because, like, he might still want to use Gliscor for Volcarona. Otherwise, he may be losing to it. Let's see. Yeah. I'd say that if he loses Gliscor, he probably just loses to Volcarona at this point. Ram, it kind of depends. I'd say Fury Dance is it can be great, but losing on that little bit of damage can change some rolls. So it kind of depends on you, really. I mean, Fury Dance, it's a 50% chance. It could go out of hand, or you could gamble and end up having a worse Flamethrower, so it kind of depends. I'd say Fire Blast. If we don't have Z moves, I would be a bit scared to miss the Fire Blast, because, like, very often, this, very often, your Volcarona is going to be your win condition. And so if you end up missing, like, a Fire Blast and just losing the game, it would be, like, pretty annoying. And usually it does, like, so much damage that you don't really need the extra damage for. But, I mean, if you end up wanting to remove a threat that you really, really need the extra damage for, you could consider it for sure, but until then, yeah. Okay, Volt Switch coming out. Landorus not giving a single duck. But it's going to be forced out by a Hydro Pump still. But if Landorus is fast enough, it's going to be able to U-turn out, but he may just be sacking it. Weavile is still extremely dangerous right now. And, I mean, you'd want to lower down Rotom a bit still before bringing Volcarona, because Rotom could be able to do a little something against it. Yeah, we're gonna see what's going on. But yeah, guys, it's really, really cool. Like, this match is, I mean, it's two very good players. It doesn't last long because they don't know how to break each other. It's just because they're trying to put each other into a situation where they can actually take advantage. So honestly, it's It's a good way to learn, to look at like really high level matches. I mean, they both have teams that are bulky offensive, which kind of means that, you know, it's not like with hyper offense where people kind of, you know, they basically win or lose in 20 turns. Like it's still taking a bit longer, but they are both very dangerous, both very potent. It's just that they have good teams, so they have some good switch, you know, they have good backbones to switch out into. But if you face them, things like Bandit, Weavile is going to do a lot. Volcarona is going to do a lot as well. Terrakion is extremely dangerous as well. We have our boy Gliscor. For the people who thought that Landorus would replace Gliscor, it is not the case. Gliscor is still extremely strong, both for the Jolly and the Careful set. And even, I know that some people love Impish Gliscor, I don't. But Impish Gliscor would be able to wall Conkeldurr even more easily. So there's that. Oh yeah, yo Zemtex. At the end of all this, Shadow IX never came in, right? Also, I think we could be starting round 2 if everyone's done. But I'm just gonna take a look at who is left. So just give me a second. Okay, so we have Boltigen against Unlucky Cherry. That could be cool. We all want to see Boltigen fail. We have Robert against Sentiel, which is going to be a big match as well. Robert is a very reliable, very strong player. Sentiel, I don't know much, but it could be interesting to discover this new player as well. Thanks, Derek. Your attitude as well. But, what website is this? So Austin, it's not a website. It is it's a fan-made game that you can download either for your phone or for your PC. There, damn. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. So basically, Volcarona will be able to take a Hydro Bomb, I'm pretty sure, after Quiver Dance, but does he really want to do it now? That is a question. Trey just need to make sure Rotom's not going to be able to hit Volcarona. So we could still be trying to go into Amoonguss, try to go into Weavile then, and like chip out some stuff. But from here, it's going to end pretty fast. Okay, so I think that for round 2, I'm going to feature Boltigen and Unlucky Cherry. The other ones can start your match for round 2 if you are done. Also, if your opponent didn't show up, you can put yourself a win. But yeah, so everyone can start round 2. Boltigen, Unlucky Cherry, we're gonna pick you up for round 2. Shadow IX, you missed your match. But yo, Shadow, basically it is DieSeeKuh against Trey, which is 2 very strong QCM players. One of the strongest players in the game. So you know, it's already high quality content. So to calm down, you know, to calm down a bit the room, we're gonna go with Boltigen afterwards, so we can, you know, just sleep through it, kind of recuperate a bit. But let's go. So you guys can start round 2. We're also we're gonna do another giveaway right after this match, right before going for Boltigen against Unlucky Cherry. But both players for my next match are AFK. Damn.